Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, more people behind bars in Washington state are dying of COVID as outbreaks continue to spread in state prisons.
And we are getting ready for another rain chance to move in. I'll have a look at your forecast. It's all coming up.
From Camp KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning, Northwest, and thanks for waking up with us on this Tuesday. I'm Monica Petrozelli. We had quite the windy start to the week. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls. Kristen, what can we expect today?
Yeah, the winds will be slowly dying down today, and I think we'll see a lot more sunshine trying to peek out throughout the day today as well. So let's get you started first with that live look. Legend Skycam Network downtown Yakima. And as we are back to some quiet conditions there, most locations back to some drier weather as well. We will see a few showers though sneaking into the Yakima Valley as we take you throughout your afternoon. So that's going to be the best chance to possibly see a few of those showers throughout the day today. But winds will slowly be dying down. We're already starting to see some small improvements out there. Tri-Cities, an 8-mile-per-hour wind and up to about 10 in Walla Walla this morning. Temperatures out the door this morning are at 42 in the Tri-Cities, chilly 28 in Yakima and 39 in Walla Walla. So as we take you throughout your Tuesday, we're looking at generally a partly sunny sky, 50 degrees at lunchtime, 51 later on this afternoon. So tracking several more rain chances ahead. I'll tell you when you'll need that umbrella once again. Your full forecast, Monica, it's coming up.
Thank you, Kristen. In Sunnyside, officials are investigating after they found a man dead inside his home. Last week, police were asked to do a welfare check on Franklin Avenue where they discovered 70-year-old Pedro Leja. The incident is being investigated as a homicide, and it's the first alleged homicide in Sunnyside in over 2 years. If you have any tips, contact Sunnyside Police or Yakima County Crime Stoppers. And Yakima police say a teen who was abducted by a felon has been found safe in Nevada. According to the police department, yesterday morning, 15-year-old Angeles Revuelta Bueno Rosto was allegedly taken by 36-year-old Daniel Ovance of Arizona. There was an Amber Alert issued that many of you probably got. But thankfully, around 10 p.m. last night, Yakima police said the officers in Nevada spotted the suspect's car and Angeles was found safe. The suspect was taken into custody. In Grant County, the sheriff's office announced one of their deputies has died due to COVID-19. Deputy John Melvin passed away on December 11th. He was discovered by fellow deputies during a welfare check after family members reported that they couldn't reach him. Melvin served for over 35 years in law enforcement and was preparing to retire this year. He was 60 years old. And coronavirus is once again spreading behind bars in Washington state. At least 6 inmates have died since the pandemic began and thousands have tested positive. Airway Heights Correction Center near Spokane has the largest outbreak right now with more than 1,400 cases and 2 deaths within the past couple of months. The Stafford Creek Correction Center, which is out on the peninsula, has seen 900 cases. 1 inmate and 1 staffer have died there. And the state penitentiary in Walla Walla has the 3rd largest outbreak in a Washington prison. More than 800 people there have tested positive since the pandemic began. 2 inmates have died, 1 in November and 1 on New Year's Eve. On the final day of 2020, Governor Jay Inslee officially extended Washington state's eviction ban through the end of March. Landlords have been raising concerns, though, about the eviction ban because they have bills to pay too. Governor Inslee's updated proclamation does offer more protection to landlords, though, who offer their tenants a payment plan they can't afford, at least. The proclamation also clarifies that landlords can give renters information about applying for rent assistance programs and even working with them on applying. The governor also recommends that the state legislature work on clarifying what a reasonable repayment plan looks like. Well, dozens of tribes are suing the federal government, hoping to keep the feds from selling the National Archives building in Seattle and shipping its irreplaceable records more than 1,000 miles away.
The tribes really desire to have these materials close to us so we can have access to them, so we can verify the things that we've been told over the years. A lot of our historic documents are over in the archives. Having that be moved would be devastating to a lot of the tribes.
Washington, Oregon, and a number of other groups argue the feds didn't ask anyone in the Pacific Northwest before deciding to relocate the undigitized files, among them tribal and treaty records. In announcing its own separate lawsuit, the Yakama Nation said the facility maintains thousands of historical records that belong to the Yakama Nation and our members. The United States has both legal and moral obligations to keep those records in the Pacific Northwest where we can easily access them, end quote. Switching gears here at 5:05, it may help with your New Year's diet resolutions. Chipotle is announcing a new limited time rice option, cilantro lime cauliflower rice. It's grilled rice cauliflower with cilantro, lime, and salt. The chain says it has 4 carbs per serving and works for keto, Whole30, paleo, and vegan diets. It's being offered in the U.S. and Canada and costs an extra $2. Chipotle also announced 4 lifestyle bowls that include the new rice option. The limited time bowls are called whole, keto, vegetarian, salad, and vegan bowls, and they can only be ordered through Chipotle's app and website. But Kristen, what do you think about the cauliflower rice?
I don't mind the cauliflower rice. Some people aren't fans of cauliflower and they can't do it, but
I mean, it's one of those foods that it just depends on how you cook it, and cauliflower can taste amazing.
So I agree with that.
We'll have to give it a taste test. All right, let's take a quick break here in Good Morning Northwest. But first, let's take that live look outside.
And back to some drier conditions as you head on out the door this morning. Still a bit breezy, but we will be seeing those improvements and also look ahead to more rain chances moving in. Your full forecast, it's coming up.
Plus, airlines are looking for incentives to get travelers back on planes. We'll tell you about one crazy deal you can snag this week. Welcome back at 5:09. In your travel news, more than 300 million people. That's how many Americans flew in 2020, although about half of those travelers flew during the first 3 months of the year before the coronavirus pandemic really set in. It's a 61% drop from 2019, but still it's a good chunk of people considering months of public health guidance to not travel. The new tally comes on the heels of a pandemic air travel record set on Sunday. On that day alone, more than 1.3 million people passed through TSA checkpoints at airports across the country. And a heads up, if you're planning a trip this spring, Southwest wants to help make it happen with a 4-day sale that'll make you say wow, partly because it's called the Wow Sale, but also because you can snag a flight between March and April for as low as $29 one way. Now you've got between now and Thursday to get booking. Southwest hopes the bargain will keep the ball rolling after the busier than expected holiday travel season. Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, all the snow we've seen in the past couple of weeks is raising the risk of avalanches in the mountains. We'll show you how one snowmobiler had to be rescued next. Welcome back at 5:14. The New York Stock Exchange plans to end trading with 3 of the largest state-owned telecom companies in China. The NYSE says this move comes in order to comply with President Trump's order that bans the U.S. from investing with firms officials believe are owned or controlled by China's military. The 3 suspended firms are called China Mobile, China Telecom, and China Unicorn. In a statement Saturday, China's Ministry of Commerce said it will take necessary measures to protect the interests of its companies. All 3 of those entities have traded on Wall Street for many years. The suspension goes into effect on January 11th. Shareholders of Fiat Chrysler and French automaker PSA Group have now approved a merger between the companies. The new company will be called Stellantis and will employ 400,000 people. It'll become the 4th largest car-making company in the world with more than a dozen brands. The merger is projected to yield more than $6 billion in savings for them, and the companies expect to close the deal January 16th. And the new company will be based in the Netherlands. They plan to start publicly trading on the New York Stock Exchange on January 19th. If you have a Samsung smartphone, listen up. The electronics giant is expected to unveil its latest Galaxy S21 smartphone next week. This was the invite sent to the media. You can see a smartphone inside a cube with the title, "Welcome to Everyday Epic." Word is we'll see the phone at Samsung's Unpacked event on January 14th, which is about a month earlier than its typical February showing. Back here in the Pacific Northwest, all the snow and rain we've been getting on both sides of the state is raising the risk for avalanches. Take a look. Rescuers had to dig down to a snowmobiler who got trapped on a mountain up in northern Washington. One of those rescuers says the man was incredibly lucky because he didn't have a lot of the safety gear you're supposed to carry.
Some of my past students, and they let us know that their dad was in an avalanche. He couldn't breathe. He had a bunch of snow packed in his mouth, and he kind of reached an arm up, and his brother and nephews were up above watching the slide, and they were able to ride right down the avalanche and get him out of there pretty quickly.
Experts say anytime you're out enjoying backcountry snow, you should have safety gear like a transceiver and shovels just in case. Across the Pacific Northwest, check out this mudslide on Highway 2. It hit the guardrail, pushing it onto the highway. The mass of mud, rocks, and trees fell just east of Leavenworth. The slide was partially blocking the eastbound lane, and US 2 had to be shut down for cleanup. And more snow has been falling on Snoqualmie Pass, up to 10 inches just yesterday, and there's plenty of snow and slush in places. Storms dumped 18 inches of snow over the pass over the weekend. That caused multiple slide-offs and crashes. WashDOT had to shut down the pass overnight Saturday.
Now, Cap KVUE First Alert Weather.
And we go now to Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls. And Kristen, what are conditions looking like this morning?
Well, this morning we're seeing some improvements into those mountain passes, which is good. So we'll have overall back to quiet weather around the Pacific Northwest today. We're starting off this morning. Still a little bit breezy from Richland's Columbia Point, but that's another improvement that we will have out there today. Those winds will slowly start to die down. So we'll have a dry day mainly today for parts of the area. Others will see a slight chance for a few showers sneaking in. Wednesday, those rain chances go back up. Dry day Thursday, and then as we head into Friday and Saturday, especially in the mornings, for both Friday and Saturday, we'll see another small rain chance starting to move back into the area. But there's the radar and satellite, much drier compared to yesterday. A few clouds streaming in from the west around the Yakima and the Kittitas Valley this morning, but still dry for you as well. And there's still a few snow showers popping up through the Cascades this morning, but overall, we'll have a little bit of a break from some of the snow that we have been seeing piling up through Snoqualmie Pass. So the latest conditions there, just a little bit of some light snow falling. We have traction tires, which are advised there. Similar story for White and Stevens Pass. Manastach is partly cloudy with no travel restrictions there. So as we give you a closer look here with Futurecast, as I mentioned, the majority of the daytime hours today will be dry, especially early this morning. Taking you throughout your afternoon, we'll see a few more rain showers starting to move back into the Yakima area. Still dry around the Tri-Cities as you're heading home from work. And then overnight tonight, scattered rain showers start to spill back in. We'll have still some spotty rain showers out the door for your Wednesday morning, especially further to our south into parts of Oregon and the foothills of the Blues. Again, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then we'll continue to keep just an on and off rain chance throughout your Wednesday. There's a look at 5 o'clock, even some heavier downpours can't be ruled out. Thursday, back to some sunshine around the area. So we'll get one day with some rain, and then we'll get another day with some sunshine, and then we'll slowly start to dry things out. But there's some still winter storm warnings that are in place back through the Cascades. Now, this is with our next system. Starting at noon today through 10 a.m. Wednesday, again, back through parts of the Cascades. Snoqualmie Pass is under a winter weather advisory. Could pick up an additional foot of snowfall during that time frame. So there's going to be additional travel alerts and advisories with this next system. Now, wind speeds are slowly starting to calm down. 8-mile-per-hour wind Tri-Cities, 10 in Walla Walla, and pretty calm back over into Toppenish and Yakima this morning. And as far as those temperatures go right now, we're at 42 in the Tri-Cities, 1 degree away from that freezing mark in Connell. Walla Walla at 39 and down to about 28 degrees over into Yakima. So look at our numbers today. It's going to be chilly, especially for Yakima today, 43. 42 in Ellensburg, but back up to 51 in the Tri-Cities with 48 in Prosser. 53 in Walla Walla and 50 degrees down into Pendleton. So overnight tonight, expecting the wet weather to spill back in. Temperatures tonight in the upper 30s to near 40 degrees. But there's your 7-day forecast. A dry day on Thursday at 46. Another morning rain shower on Friday. But as we look ahead into your weekend, back down into the low 40s. Dry day Saturday, maybe a morning shower there on Sunday for the weekend. And then your 7-day forecast in Yakima, also looking at that dry day, partly sunny on Thursday at 42. And then maybe a morning shower as we head into Friday. Those temperatures in the low 40s.
Thank you, Kristen. Coming up next, Bond actress Tanya Roberts was believed to be dead after her boyfriend reported the news, but he was shocked yesterday to find out that she actually isn't. Details next. Welcome back, everyone. It's a final farewell this week for Jeopardy fans. The final episodes with host Alex Trebek are airing this week. Trebek recorded 5 episodes before his death in early November after a battle with pancreatic cancer. The shows began to air yesterday and will run through Friday. The final episode will feature a special tribute to Trebek. The show is slated to resume next week with guest host and champion Ken Jennings. Actress Tanya Roberts is not dead, as previously reported. Her publicist says her longtime partner was notified by Cedars-Sinai Hospital Monday morning that she's actually still in critical condition. On Sunday night, Lance O'Brien said he was at her bedside saying goodbye. He said he was so distraught he left the hospital thinking it would be the last time he saw Roberts, but he was doing an interview Monday morning when the hospital called with the news that his partner was still alive. Roberts has been in the hospital since December 24th when she collapsed at home after walking her dogs. She's best known for her role in the James Bond film A View to a Kill. Well, take a look at this at 5:25. There's a new Guinness World Record for the largest number of diamonds on a single ring. It's 12,638. It breaks the previous record by nearly 5,000 diamonds. Look at that, Kristen.
Wow, I mean, compared to her hand.
I was so curious how they could fit so many diamonds, but wow, they're teeny. The founder of Renani Jewels in Meru, India, set the new record with this impressive design on December 21st. The ring is named the Marigold, or the Ring of Prosperity. It has a circular band with floral designs weighing nearly 6 ounces, and the stones are 38-karat natural diamonds. The founder says he was first inspired to break the diamond-studded record in 2018 while studying jewelry design in India, and just 2 years later, his company completed the ring design.
Such a big ring, though. I mean, I can't really see somebody. I know there's a few people out there that'll probably wear it, but it's the size of her hand.
I mean, I'm wondering the price tag for something like this.
It's way up there.
Plenty of zeros in that number. All right, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, a huge coronavirus outbreak at a Costco is now prompting a response from a union after this county said there's no need to shut the store down. Plus, the consequences for the local bar that stayed open when the state said no, how they're regrouping with a new plan.
And at 5:26, we're looking at some quiet conditions out the door this morning, but more rounds of wet weather on the way. Have a look at your full forecast. It's all coming up during the 5:30 half hour.
Coming up, on top of everything else, staff at this Washington hospital had to deal with a COVID outbreak of their own.
And we are drying things out this morning, but another chance for wet weather on the way. I'll have details in that full forecast. It's all coming up.
From Camp KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning, Northwest, and happy Tuesday, and thanks for starting it with us. I'm Monica Petrozelli. Let's check in first thing with Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls. Kristen, off to a dry start, like you said, but you said there could be some wet weather.
Yep, another round of some rain showers that'll be spilling in. Dry start for many this morning. The winds are improving, so there's going to be even a little bit of some sun trying to peek out as the sun comes up this morning. So let's get you started first with that live look. Legend Sky Cam Network there. From Richland's Columbia Point, the wind even around the Tri-Cities starting to die down this morning after a pretty breezy night last night. We have some clear conditions, especially around the Columbia Basin, but some clouds are starting to stream back in to the Yakima and the Kittitas Valley, but everybody's starting off dry this morning. Now, there's still a few snow showers and a little bit of a wintry mix back through our mountains and mountain passes, but even those improvements there. So there are your winds. Still a little bit breezy, especially over into the Pullman area this morning, but starting to die down from the Tri-Cities over into Yakima early this morning. And those temperatures are very cold in the Yakima area, 28, 42 Tri-Cities, and 39 in Walla Walla. So we are expecting some sunshine and clouds out there today, back into the 50s with a high of 51. But another rain chance starting to spill in here over the next couple of days. Your full forecast, Monica. It's all coming up.
Thank you, Kristen. Happening today, Governor Inslee will be holding a press conference to give an update on the state's response to the ongoing pandemic. The press conference is scheduled to begin at 2:30 and will also be live streamed. Of course, we'll have updates on that conference on KapKV Local News at 5 and online at yaktrinews.com. In Vancouver, Washington, at least 19 patients and 11 medical personnel tested positive for COVID at a medical center. The hospital says the outbreak all started back on December 27th when patients began showing symptoms. According to doctors at Peace Health, they believe a patient who was still in the incubation period with the virus brought it into their surgery unit, and they suspect it was there that the virus spread to the 18 other patients. Now, they say they still have a big question, though, and they're working to get to the bottom of it.
It's a little bit unknown at present is how it spread from that one patient being affected to the other 18 patients. And that's what the team is really zeroing in on because to date, we have not found any breaches in our PPE protocol.
They say no one else connected to this outbreak has tested positive since January 2nd, and they do still have more than 50 employees quarantining at home as a precaution. Well, we've learned more about a COVID-19 outbreak at a Costco in Union Gap, where 174 employees have tested positive in the past month, almost half their staff. The Yakima Health District says 149 of those employees have recovered and returned to work. Health officials don't know exactly how the outbreak started, but say the information shows multiple employees were infected at the same time and likely the same place. Despite that, Health District investigators have been to the store twice and say it is safe enough to continue operating.
All the proper COVID-19 safety precautions were being followed. Anyone who was going into Costco was not at a higher risk of infection to COVID-19 so long as they wore a mask and social distance at all times.
The store will continue testing employees weekly until the number of positive tests decreases. Yakima County has seen more than 20,000 coronavirus cases since the pandemic began, with more than 1,000 of those people getting sick enough to end up in the hospital. In the Tri-Cities, state officials have taken away the liquor license from Coco's Bartini for at least 6 months. The business kept its dining room open despite dozens of complaints and a warning from the Liquor and Cannabis Board. The owners later posted on Facebook saying they made a deal with their landlord to close their doors until January 11th, which is when the latest statewide restrictions are set to expire. But Coco says it's planning to start takeout orders with martini mixers starting today. In Oregon, 6 counties, including Morrow County, are starting the new year in the high-risk category. That's actually one step down from extreme risk, which you can see is where most of the state is still sitting. But for those areas in the high-risk category, like gyms and theaters can open up there, and restaurants and bars can allow people inside with up to 6 people per table. In Walla Walla, health officials announced 2 recent deaths related to COVID-19. They were a local man in his 60s and a woman in her 50s. Right now, 487 people in Walla Walla County are fighting coronavirus. Most of them are at home in quarantine, but 10 of them are in the hospital currently. And here's a look at the latest numbers from the Benton-Franklin Health District. Hundreds of people testing positive over the weekend. But some good news this morning. The number of people in local hospitals has dropped slightly. Starting today, the COVID testing site at the Hapo Center will be relocated to its new location in Kennewick. According to BFHD, the site at the Hapo Center is not fenced or secured, requiring staff to set up and take down each day, resulting in less hours for testing. The new site is on South Eli Street near the Kennewick Irrigation District. The hours will stay the same as the previous location, Tuesday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Well, fighting hunger and homelessness, Hapo Community Credit Union, along with other community partners, are giving back this year on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Hapo is collecting donations at their Tri-City locations for essential items to give to those in need. Donations like non-perishable food and winter clothes can be placed inside a Building a Dream box inside one of their lobbies. Hapo says it's important to help the community and to honor Martin Luther King Jr.
Well, we really celebrate our diversity and inclusion at Hapo, and so it's a big program of ours, and it's really what we represent and really want to showcase in the community. So there's no better way than picking that day, especially knowing it's a National Day of Service.
donations in the building dream boxes will be accepted until January 11th. HAPO is also accepting cash donations at all their locations. Volunteers will distribute those donations on January 18th at the Martin Luther King Center in Pasco. All right, you've probably heard people call 2020 a dumpster fire, so it only makes sense that one Florida fire department ended the year by responding to an ironic last call. Yep, a dumpster fire. How appropriate. As they were counting down to the new year, Brevard County firefighters were called out to this actual dumpster on fire. They put it out and no one was hurt, but the department says it kind of sums up 2020. The firefighters even took a picture by the dumpster after putting out the flames. Here's to 2021.
Yep, I agree with that.
Just closing the chapter on last year and a lot of hope as we're heading into this year. All right, it's now time to raise the flag here on Good Morning Northwest with the Pledge of Allegiance.
With schools pretty much closed, we still honor the flag each morning. So please send a photo or video of your child doing the Pledge of Allegiance to pledge@capkvu.com and we'll share it with viewers.
At Archibald's, we believe it's important to keep the traditions that have made our country great. We're proud to support Raise the Flag.
Welcome back, everyone. Productivity on the first workday of the new year was hampered for some employees as Slack suffered a major outage yesterday. The workplace communication platform confirmed the outage and apologized for the disruptions, which lasted for a few hours as users returned to work after the holidays. At this point, Slack has been restored for most users, and the company couldn't say exactly how many of their more than 10 million daily users were affected or what caused the disruption. Employees at Google have launched a new trade union. It's called the Alphabet Workers Union, and so far it has more than 225 engineers and other workers as members. But that's a drop in the bucket of Google parent company Alphabet's workforce, which has more than 260,000 full-time and contract employees. Unions are rare in Silicon Valley, and tech companies have traditionally frowned upon them. Google's new union, though, isn't traditional. It has no collective bargaining power and can't negotiate salaries. Instead, the union will likely tackle issues like business practices and ethics. Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, control of the United States Senate will be decided in Georgia today. We're talking about that next.
Now, KapKVU First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls.
And happy Tuesday, everybody. Waking up this morning, we're looking at some improvements. We're looking at the rain that has moved out and the wind that'll start to die down early this morning as well. Looking at right now, Richland's Columbia Point, lighter wind is starting to develop around the area. So some spots it is a safe bet to leave the umbrella at home. Only a slight chance for a few showers maybe popping up around the Yakima, the Kittitas Valley today. Rain chances certainly going back up for everybody on Wednesday. And then a dry day Thursday with more sunshine across the Pacific Northwest. And then looking ahead into your weekend, we'll just have some small rain chances both Friday and Saturday mornings. But overall, we should have a pretty quiet weekend ahead for us. Radar and satellite, we have a few clouds that are building in from the west, but as the sun comes up, we should see a mixture of some sunshine and clouds out there for today. Pretty quiet as well around the Pacific Northwest compared to what we had out there yesterday. But there are still a few snow showers that are popping up back through the mountains, but improvements there as well. We have a little bit of some light snow for Snoqualmie Pass where traction tires are advised. Wintry mix for White Pass, also traction tires advised there. Manastash, no travel restrictions, just overall looking at that partly cloudy sky. But we will have more active weather starting to spill in here later tonight into your Wednesday with more mountain snow expected. So throughout your morning through at least early afternoon, most locations will be dry. Notice a few of these rain showers starting to move back into the Yakima Valley. A little bit of a wintry mix though for Cle Elum this afternoon, but Tri-Cities into Walla Walla as you're heading home from work, looking at dry conditions for you. But then just after about 8 or 9 o'clock, everybody looking at that wet weather to spill back in. A little bit of a soggy start out the door for your Wednesday morning. Tri-Cities and areas to our south and southeast. And then we'll continue to have some spotty rain showers on and off throughout your day on Wednesday. Maybe even a few heavy downpours expected. Of course, these temperatures will start to cool off just a little bit more. We're going to be back into the 40s for Wednesday, Thursday, and even as we head into the day on Friday. But at least Thursday, we're back to some drier conditions and some sunshine returning as well. So with this next weather system moving in, winter weather weather advisory, winter storm warning that's in place starting at noon today until 10 a.m. on Wednesday. So that winter storm warning in place for parts of the Cascades. Snoqualmie Pass under that winter weather advisory, expecting possibly up to a foot of snowfall during that time frame. Even the northern blues now included in on that. So the winds have been are still picking up this morning around Dayton and Walla Walla, but we will see those improvements across our area for today. Tri-Cities already up to about 8 miles per hour, or already down to 8 miles per hour, and then pretty calm for the Yakima Valley. In most locations this morning in the 30s and 40s, one of our coldest spots right now over into Yakima. You're at 28. So you can see those numbers out there for this afternoon. 47 for Toppenish with 43 in Yakima. Jumping back up to 51 today in the Tri-Cities and 48 in Prosser. 49 in Dayton, and then 53 for Walla Walla. So overnight tonight, we could see a few more showers starting to move back in as those numbers fall through the upper 30s to near 40 degrees. So we will have that dry day Thursday at 46 and then low 40s over the weekend. You'll see there on Sunday maybe a slight chance for a morning shower. And then your 7-day forecast for Yakima, also looking at those rain showers still around our area tomorrow, then partly sunny on Thursday with that high of 42.
Thank you, Kristen. Election day is here again, at least in Georgia, but this runoff election for 2 Senate seats will affect all 50 states, and the end result will be a major factor for the incoming Biden administration. John Lawrence reports.
Voters in Georgia will determine Tuesday which party will control the U.S. Senate.
Are you ready to show America that Georgia's a red state?
Republican Senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue got a presidential boost less than 12 hours before the polls opened.
Kelly fights for me, David fights for me, that I can tell you.
Before the rally in Dalton, Georgia, both announced they will oppose the Electoral College's certification of President-elect Joe Biden's victory.
He may not know it yet, but Donald Trump is leaving.
Democratic candidates John Ossoff and the Reverend Raphael Warnock also received high-profile support in Atlanta on Election Day Eve.
By electing John and the Reverend, you can make an immediate difference in your own lives, the lives of the people all across this country.
If Ossoff and Warnock both win, the Senate will be split, with Vice President-elect Kamala Harris holding the tie-breaking vote. This political showdown in Georgia comes days after Trump pushed Georgia's Secretary of State in a recorded phone call to change the results of the 2020 presidential election.
It wasn't the right call. He shouldn't have made the call to begin with, and certainly shouldn't have had that dialogue.
It's a call for a coup with a gavel instead of a rifle.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Now, the most senior member of Georgia's state election board says he is requesting Georgia's Secretary of State to start an investigation into Trump's phone call to determine if election fraud violations took place. President-elect Joe Biden is campaigning for Georgia's Democratic Senate candidates as well, and is tying their election to larger stimulus checks. He campaigned for John Ossoff and Reverend Raphael Warnock in Atlanta yesterday. Right now, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is rejecting a bill to increase stimulus payments from $600 to $2,000. But Biden says if Ossoff and Warnock win, Democrats won't need McConnell's blessing. The National Guard is deploying in Washington, D.C. this week ahead of potential protests. The pro-Trump rallies are planned during a politically busy week. Mayor Muriel Bowser requested the assistance, and Acting Defense Secretary Christopher Miller granted it. Bowser says she wants the help because some protests earlier this year resulted in crime. The police chief says the National Guard will focus on crowd management and traffic control to free up police in case violence does arise. The U.S. has once again hit a record number of current COVID-19 hospitalizations. As of yesterday, more than 128,000 people were hospitalized with the coronavirus. That's according to the COVID Tracking Project. It beats the previous record set just the day before, when there were more than 125,000 hospitalized COVID patients. It's also the 34th consecutive day that more than 100,000 people were in the hospital with the virus in the U.S. The CDC says U.S. health officials have administered only about 30% of the COVID-19 vaccines that have been distributed so far. The data tracks the 15.4 million doses of Pfizer and Moderna's vaccines. According to the CDC, only South Dakota, North Dakota, Tennessee, and Connecticut have given out more than half of their delivered doses. While these CDC figures were last updated yesterday, healthcare providers may report giving doses up to 72 hours after administering them. When we come back on Good Morning Northwest, we're talking about how your pets can actually help with your 2021 New Year's resolutions.
Just about to turn over to 5:55 on this Tuesday morning. Let's get you over to that close to home forecast. Some improvements and some sunshine expected back around the area today, even back into the low 50s from Pasco into Kennewick. Burbank today up to about 52. Basin City at 48. Also looking at those improvements with the wind starting to lighten up for today as well. Even along the foothills of the Blues, pretty mild out there for today with some sunshine returning, especially for the first half of the day today. 51 for Hermiston into Stanfield. Milton Freewater up to 51 and Prescott jumping up to 52 this afternoon. After a dry start, maybe even a few peaks of some sun, we'll have an afternoon rain shower possible with Wapato 45. Yakima at 43, Natchez today at 42, and that wintry mix starting to move back in as well. Cle Elum today at 40 degrees, 42 in Ellensburg, and then 43 in Vantage.
Thank you, Kristen. Nearly 85 million families own a pet in the United States, according to the American Pet Products Association. And those furry friends can actually be good for your health. And some pet advocates say a cat or a dog can even help you stick to those New Year's resolutions. Here's more in today's Health Minute.
Whether you prefer cats, dogs, or some other furry friend, pets aren't just animals. They can be family and can be good for our health.
They get us out moving. We can go out and walk with our pets, run if we're runners, take them hiking, and even cats can enjoy walking on a harness or even going out in a stroller.
Timma Martin with Utah's Best Friends Animal Society says if your resolution is to be healthier, let your pet be your partner in exercise and stress relief.
Just get comfortable, relax, breathe deeply, be present in the moment, and pet your dog or cat and feel that release of the pressure of our lives these days.
Believe it or not, pets can also help you eat better. Try eating something you can share in moderation.
Blueberries, carrots, apple slices. So when you have those healthy snacks around, you can eat them and your pet can enjoy them as well.
Need to get out of the house? Let your pet motivate you to venture out.
Beaches, state parks, local landmarks are a great place to just go sightseeing and feel like you're getting away for a minute.
If the pandemic has made you feel isolated, your pet can help you be social.
They're natural icebreakers and a great way to meet like-minded people. You can play frisbee, play fetch, just get out there and, stay safely socially distanced and enjoy some outside time and, talk to some other people as well.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And if you're interested in getting a pet, of course, Kristen, local shelters are a great place to find a furry friend.
And I feel like anytime I head to a local shelter, I just want to take them all home with me, and I wish I could.
I do too. I mean, I got a couple kittens last year from the Tri-Cities Animal
adorable.
Shelter.
I love your kittens.
I would say they definitely brighten the mood.
I would